Once again, don't really have like a big major video for y'all, because what have I done? What have I been doing lately? Nothing. When I say I've been doing nothing, that doesn't mean like I've literally been doing nothing, but I mean, I just haven't been going out. I haven't been going on any adventures or anything like that. And the truth is, I just don't feel comfortable doing so anymore. I mean, these high numbers and all this talk of breakthrough cases, even if you've been fully vaccinated, and I just don't feel comfortable. So haven't been going anywhere, haven't been doing anything. So yeah. But there are a couple of things I just wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. So I hope y'all don't mind if I just ramble for a minute. First thing that I want to talk about is the whole LeVar Burton Jeopardy thing. It was announced earlier this week that Jeopardy is in advanced talks, advanced negotiations with one of their own producers, Mike Richards, but they're in negotiations with him to be the next permanent host. People are all up in arms. They're just like, oh my God, LeVar Burton, we've been asking for LeVar Burton. We want LeVar Burton. Why won't you give us LeVar Burton? And I said this from the beginning. I said this when they first started announcing the guest hosts, that LeVar Burton was not even an option. Like when they announced the first round of guest hosts, like LeVar Burton wasn't mentioned. I was like, But then, when like fans started speaking up, and I think that there was like a petition. I'm gonna tell y'all, stop doing those fucking petitions, please. But anyway, there was a petition going around, make LeVar Burton the host, or at least a guest host, get him, on the guest host roster. And then LeVar Burton himself got on board with like this whole little campaign. And once that happened, I was just like, the man's not even in talks with them. I was like, they don't want him. That's what I knew. I was just like, they don't want him. If they wanted him, they would have offered him a guest spot. Because of, fan fervor, like that would have been announced right away. But that just let me know that LeVar Burton was not on their radar. Like they didn't want him. And the only reason they capitulated is because of the fucking fan fervor, because of the petition. Because I think the petition got like 200,000 signatures or whatever. So they gave LeVar his little week to be Jeopardy host. But, like I said, like they already knew. That's why I wasn't surprised when then they mentioned that this guy is like a producer of the show. That shit was planned from the get-go. It was planned from the get-go. So I'm just over here laughing because I think it's really funny that people are upset that LeVar Burton is not going to be the next permanent host, and it was never in the plan. From the beginning, you could tell it was never in the plan, so just wish folks would calm down with that. Learn to read the signs. Second thing I'm going to talk about some vaccine shit. If you don't want to hear my what I have to say or whatever, you can skip to the time code that I'll put like right here, and it'll skip to the next subject. A couple of things regarding the vaccine. First, I want to say people reached out to me about my last video. And I had one person, on some just like, oh, thanks, unvaccinated people. Hey, did you take into account like the immunocompromised, or did you take into account the young children who can't get vaccinated? You already know who I'm talking to. When I'm being snarky and I'm just like the unvaccinated, you already know who I'm talking to, who I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about folks who are immunocompromised who can't get the vaccine. No, I'm not talking about young children who can't get the vaccine. Like, stop it. Don't do that. Because you're really being foolish, and you're looking for a reason to initiate conflict. Calm that shit down, please. And then I had someone else who reached out, and they were just like, well, how do you know, with all the rising numbers and everything, the spread of the Delta variant, how do you know that it's the unvaccinated people? And it's a numbers thing. I mean, the majority of people who are being hospitalized, who are dying presently of COVID, are unvaccinated. And I mean, yes, of course, there are going to be breakthrough cases, but again, this is math. The higher the number of total infections, then the higher the number of breakthrough cases. Like that's just, it's going to happen. But the vast majority of people who are being hospitalized, who are dying, are the unvaccinated. And we're hitting levels that we saw last year. when there was no vaccine. So if we're hitting such high numbers and the majority of those numbers are comprised of unvaccinated folks, then yes, that right there is how you know it's the unvaccinated people who are kind of causing this present spike. And what's troubling is that, we're now dealing with the Delta variant and Delta Plus, and Lambda is, lurking in the corner, and God knows what other Greek letter variant is out there ready to pounce upon us. The thing is, if we don't reach a certain percentage of vaccinated people, then you're just giving the virus more opportunity to spread. We won't reach like herd immunity, and herd immunity is not going to come like naturally, like it's going to come through vaccination. But if we don't reach that high threshold of vaccination, then again, you're just giving the virus more opportunity to spread, more hosts to get into. And the more hosts that you have, the more the virus spreads, the more the chance that it'll mutate and propagate these new variants. And the more chance it has to propagate these variants, the more chance it has to develop into a vaccine-resistant strain. I mean, we've reached a point where you're going to come in contact with COVID, whether you're vaccinated or not. And if you're not vaccinated, then the likelihood that you'll become sick is significantly higher. It's all science. And I know that there are people out there who would rather deal with like natural therapies rather than man-made, lab-created pharmaceuticals. I get that. I totally get that. Y'all are devotees of Dr. Sebi. I get it. I trust the science. I'm down with pharmaceuticals. Hit me with the jab. Hit me with the booster shot. Like, I'm into it. Let's get it done. I'm not trying to get sick from fucking COVID. Just not. Know too many people who have gotten sick. Know a couple of people who are suffering from long COVID. Like, that shit is frightening. It's not just about getting sick and dying, but I mean, the effects of long COVID are absolutely horrific, absolutely frightening. Like, I'm terrified. Not trying to go through that. Just not. So, thanks, unvaccinated people. Fucking get vaccinated if you can. And lastly, to end on just an upbeat note, I watched Suicide Squad. It was released early on HBO Max. I did buy tickets to see it in the movie theater. This was weeks ago when tickets went on sale. I was just like, yeah, but with the fucking Delta variant and my comfort level of going out and actually going to the movies decreasing significantly, I was like, all right, even though I want to see this on a nice big IMAX screen, since it's going to be shown on HBO Max, I'll just watch it here at home. And let me tell y'all, Suicide Squad is fantastic. Like, hey, y'all know I'm a Marvel head. When it comes to DC Comics, I'm not really all that knowledgeable. I didn't really know much about Suicide Squad before the first film back in 2016 came out. This right here, this is the best of the DC Comics movies so far. I know people love like the Dark Knight films. I personally am not a fan of the Dark Knight films. I like Batman Begins, but not the others. But the Suicide Squad, written and directed by James Gunn. Yeah, it's a blast. It's funny, it's action-packed, it's gory. It is, it's very, very violent and gory, and it's amazing. It's amazing that these characters are doing the things that they're doing, getting away with the shit that they're getting away with, saying the things that they're saying. Like, Marvel will never make a film like this. Maybe Deadpool, since they're bringing Deadpool into the MCU, maybe Deadpool could get away with this and they'll let Deadpool do this, but it's really fantastic. And it is the Suicide Squad. Not everyone's gonna make it. No spoilers, but not everyone is gonna make it. But what I do appreciate is that it seems like these characters were chosen at random. And I guess, one or two were chosen, as a joke or, whatever. But this cast of characters, the majority of them really do serve a purpose. And everything, I feel, comes together in the end, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. It makes sense why certain characters were chosen, their specialties, it makes sense. And I'm really in awe of James Gunn, his writing, because the movie is full of like snark and one-liners and full of just like violence, graphic violence and everything, but it's also very heartfelt. Like you wouldn't expect that, but it's touching in some places. Like it really is. Harley Quinn, who's a character that I like, surprisingly was not my favorite character in the film. Not to say that Margot Robbie didn't do her thing as Harley Quinn, and Harley in this film is crazy. Like, this is the first time that I think the movies have really portrayed Harley as the insane individual that she is. Harley is crazy. And Idris Elba, he's cool as Bloodsport. Like, he's dope. But my favorite characters have to be Ratcatcher 2 and the Polka Dot Man. They're just awesome characters. They're just awesome. They're just awesome. So if you have HBO Max, or if you feel comfortable about going to the theater, check out Suicide Squad. I endorse it. All right, that's this video, giving y'all content, and I hope you enjoy it.